Hello and welcome. We have a question on the board. We are still on moment area method. This is work examples on cantilever. All right. So this is example number 9. It says a cantilever 2 meter long is loaded with a point load of 1.4 kilonewton at the free end. All right. It also has a distributed load of 3.4 kilonewton per meter run over 1.2 meter from what? From the fixed end. If the section is rectangular, 80 millimeter times 160 millimeter. We are asked to calculate the deflection at the free end. All right. So we are asked to calculate the deflection at the free end. We are given E to be equal to 10 to the power of 7 kilonewton per meter squared, but we are not given I, which is what? The modulus of the moment of inertia. All right. We are not given I. So we need to look for I first before we can go over to calculate the deflection at the free end. All right. So now let's calculate the deflection at what? At the free end. Now you will agree with me that for a rectangular section, all right, for a rectangular section, the formula for moment of inertia is nothing but what? I equals to BD cube all over what? All over 12. All right. So before we do that, let's bring out our data from this question. So we have solution. All right. Now we have a length of what? Of 2 meters. Total length of the beam is equals to what? 2 meters. We also have a point load at the free end. All right. This is the point load at the free end. Let's call it W1. Equals to what? Equals to 1.4 kilonewton. All right. So this is 1.4 kilonewton. This is the point load at the free end. Now we also have a distributed load of W of 3.4 kilonewton per meter. All right. So W in small letters is equals to 3.4. All right. Now we know that W, which is total load, W in capital letters is equals to what? W, which is the uniformly distributed load, multiplied by what? Multiplied by L. All right. This will be equal to, we have 3.4. All right. Multiplied by what? Multiplied by L. L will be what? L will be the length over which the uniformly distributed load is on. All right. So we have multiplied by 1.2, and so our W will be equal to 4.08 kilonewton. All right. So this is equal to 4.08 kilonewton. All right. This is what we have. And what next do we have? Okay, we are told that the section, the moment of inertia for this section is I equals to BD cube all over 12. Now we have 80 millimeter times 160 millimeter. All right. So this is nothing but what? 80 millimeter is nothing but what? Our breadth, and 160 millimeter is our what? Is our depth. So B is equals to what? 80 millimeters. All right. We need our units to be in meter when we calculate. All right. So we are going to be converting all units in millimeter to meter. So if we convert 80 millimeter to meter, we divide by what? By 1000. This will be equal to 0.08 meter. All right. So we have D, which is our depth, equals to 160 millimeter. When we convert to meter, this will be equals to 0.16 meter. All right. Now we say I, which is moment of inertia, is equals to B D cube all over what? All over 12. This implies that I will be equals to, our B is what? 0.08 multiplied by our D, which is what? 0.16 meter. We have 0.16 meter to the power of what? To the power of 3. All right. Everything all over what? All over 12. Now 0.08 multiplied by 0.16 to the power of 3 all over what? All over 12 will give us 2.73 times 10 to the power of what? Of minus 5 meter to the power of 4. All right. So we have 2.73 times 10 to the power of minus 5 meter to the power of 4. All right. So this is our value for what? For moment of inertia. All right. So now we can proceed to calculate the deflection for this cantilever. Now we are asked to calculate the deflection at the free end B. All right. Now the deflection at the free end B will be caused due to the deflection caused by what? The uniform distributed load plus the deflection caused by what? The point load. All right. We are having two loads on this beam. The both of them will cause a deflection on this beam. So if we get the deflection caused by the uniform distributed load and sum it with the deflection caused by the point load, we are going to get the total deflection at what? At point B. All right. So this is not difficult. You just need to know the formula. All right. And these formulas have been derived. We have derived them from our previous video where we considered double integration method and cases under moment area method. We have derived all of this. All right. So you can go back and watch how we derive them. We are just going to be substituting into the formulas. All right. So now the deflection, the maximum deflection, all right, of a cantilever that has a point load at the free end is nothing but what? This is nothing but W1, all right, L to the power of what? L to the power of 3 all over 3 EI, all right. This case we are going to be using W1, all right, because we selected W1 because 1.4 kilonewton. In our previous video, we just used W, all right. We use W, but that does not mean it is still the same load. You can use W1, you can use W2. It depends on how you number your loads, all right. So for a cantilever with a point load at the free end, our maximum deflection is equals to what? W1 in this case, L to the power of what? Of 3 all over what? All over 3 EI. So take note of that. So deflection due to deflection due to W1 is equals to what? W1 L to the power of 3 all over 3 EI. Now this is the deflection that this point load will cause. All right. Now what is the deflection that this maximum uniformly distributed load will cause? All right. The uniformly distributed load W of a cantilever from a distance what? A from the fixed end will cause a maximum deflection of WA to the power of what? Of 3 all over what? All over 8 EI plus WA to the power of 2 all over 6 EI into the bracket of what? L minus A. All right. So deflection due to W is equals to what? This. All right. Now to get the total deflection at B, we will sum deflection due to W1 plus deflection due to what? The W2. All right. So you see that this is how we can get the total deflection for this beam. We have to consider the loads and what and sum them together. All right. So Y max will be equals to what? Deflection due to W1, which is W1 L to the power of 3 all over 3 EI plus deflection due to what? W, which is what? The bracket of WA to the power of 3 all over 8 EI plus WA to the power of 2 all over 6 EI all over 6 EI into what? L minus A, close the bracket. All right. So this is what we have after substitution. All right. So now let's put the values. All right. Let's put our values. So we say Y max is equal to W1 is what? W1 is 1.4 kilonewton. So I have 1.4. All right. Kilonewton. This is times 10 to the power of what? Of 3. Multiplied by L to the power of 3, 2 to the power of 3, 2 to the power of 3. All right. All over 3 multiplied by E is 10 to the power of what? Of 7 multiplied by 10 to the power of 3 multiplied by what? Multiplied by I. I is, we calculated I to be 2.73 times 10 to the power of minus 5. All right, this will be plus, we have the bracket of what? Of W. Now W is nothing but what? 4.08. We have 4.08 times 10 to the power of 3 multiplied by A. Our A is 1.2. We have 1.2. With this space container, so let's try. We have 1.2. So let's put everything down here. Let's put everything down here. Let's say plus, all right, plus the bracket right, of W. We said W is 4.08 times 10 to the power of 3 multiplied by A. A is 1.2 all to the power of 3 all over 8 multiplied by 10 to the power of 7 multiplied by 2.7. 10 to the power of 7 times 10 to the power of 3 multiplied by 2.73 times 10 to the power of minus 5 times 10 to the power of minus 5. All right, this is plus W. We have 4.08 times A square, which is nothing but 1.2 square. All right, what do we have? We have 6 multiplied by 10 to the power of 7 times 10 to the power of 3 times 2.73 times 10 to the power of minus 5. All right, now this is multiplying L minus A, that is 2 minus 1.2. Yeah, 2 minus 1.2, close the bracket. All right, so I have just done the complete substitution. All right, this is the complete substitution. We have 1.4 times 10 to the power of 3 times 2 to the power of 3 all over 3 times 10 to the power of 7 times 10 to the power of 3 times 2.73 times 10 to the power of minus 5. If you do this, you have nothing but what? 0.00328. All right, that is after solving this. You divide this by this, you get 0.003228. So y max is equals to 0.003228. That is for this. All right, so for this term we have here 4.08 times 10 to the power of 3 times 1.2 to the power of 3 all over 8 times 10 to the power of 7 times 10 to the power of 3 times 2.73 times 10 to the power of minus 5. If you do this, you will have 0.002869. all right, we have 0.002869. This is for what we have here. All right, now for what we have here, 4.08 times 1.2 to the power of 2 into the bracket of 2 minus 1.2 close bracket all over 6 times 10 to the power of 7 times 10 to the power of 3 times 2.73 times 10 to the power of minus 5. This will give us 0.013675. 0.03675. So we have 0.013675. all right, 13675. Now we just have to sum all of this. All right, so if we sum all of this, we'll have nothing but 0.01977 meter. All right, 0.0 y max will be equals to 0.01 this will be 1977 meters. So we'll have 1977 meters. All right, but we need our answer to be in millimeters. All right, so we'll multiply by 10 to the power of 3. If we multiply by 10 to the power of 3, y mass will be equals to what? 19.77 meters. All right, so multiply by 10 to the power of 3, and y max will be equals to 19.77. This will be 19.77 millimeters. All right, so this is our maximum deflection for this beam. All right, so in general, what we just need is to calculate. We are not given moment of inertia, so we find our moment of inertia first. After getting the moment of inertia, we calculated we used the deflection due to the point load at the free end, and also sum it with the deflection due to the uniformly distributed load to get the total deflection for this beam. All right, so it is straightforward and simple. So all you just need to do is to recall your formulas. This is why it's very important you go back to the proving of all of this in our previous lessons. All right, so that's That's it for example number 9. We'll be back with example number 10, even as we conclude on moment area method. All right, so be sure to share, be sure to like, and also be sure to subscribe. And also to add, we also have materials like this. All right, materials such as this, we have them just for you, well simplified, well structured, well explained. All right, so if you need any of our materials, feel free to reach out to us. The link is on our description below. Click on it and pass your message across to us, and we'll have your materials sent across to you. So I will see you on work example number 9. Thank you for watching.